Welcome to the THZTV show. My name's Chris Nadeau. This is my bro Adrian.
How's she going?
Welcome to episode 33. Today we're going to talk about the art of the grinder. Should be fun since we both were grinders.
Yeah, we grinded through a few games in our time.
That's right. But first, before we get into the episode, we got a couple shirts. We're sporting a couple Hockey Fights Cancer shirts, and we'd like to give a shout out to Neil Hawker, who actually won the contest we had a while ago, and he was nice enough to pick up these shirts for us. So thanks a lot, Neil. Appreciate it.
Nice touch, bye.
Yeah, he said it was tough to hold on to this Habs jersey for a few, or Habs t-shirt, but thanks for gritting and bearing it for me, Neil. Really appreciate it. So, art of the grinder. I was watching the game last night, actually, between Colorado and Edmonton, and I was sitting back thinking, is there still a grinder in today's game? And I guess a little definition on a grinder to me is like a third line guy, fights through checks, does whatever it takes to win a game, blocks shots, cycling the puck, bumping and grinding, doing whatever it takes. Is that kind of what you see as a grinder?
Yeah, that's what I think too. I mean, somebody that shows up every night, they might not get a ton of ice time. They bring energy to the game.
Yeah.
They might get called upon a couple shifts a game. More and more you see guys, I guess, get more ice time than that, but I think that's just the way the NHL is now. But anyway, yeah, a guy that brings energy, throws his body around, just does whatever, plays reckless.
Yeah. And do you think it's changed since like back in the 80s when grinders, 90s, or
I think maybe they're not as prominent now in the game, but I think that there's definitely a lot of grinders out there still. I think now with the new salary cap rules that guys, they have to have grinders, or I guess maybe guys that bring energy might be the way you might talk about it now. But I know I've watched Boston a lot this year. I know they have some grinders. We're kind of lacking the other end of the spectrum, but they definitely have some guys that go out and grind it every night.
Paille and those kind of guys, Yeah. Now I watch the Habs, and maybe that's why I think there's no grinders in the league.
Bunch of little guys.
We had Latondres would be our closest thing to a grinder, and that's not very good. So I guess we got LaPerriere mowing. But anyway, so I guess so we were talking like, is the grinder role changed? Are they there? Who are like the best grinders that we can think of all time? And I guess one person I thought of when I was thinking of a grinder is John Tonelli. Back in the 80s when that guy was playing for the Islanders, he was, grinding out in the corners, setting up plays. And, when I thought of him, I thought, he probably got like 40, 50 points a year. But when we looked online, he had 100 points one year in 84, which kind of shocked me. So that was like, wow, is he really a grinder? But the other thing that made me think about John Tonelli being the grinder is back in the Canada Cup in 84. He was battling in behind the net there, two Russians. He grabs onto both of them, pulls them down, gets the puck, skates it up the boards, passes it out to Coffey. Coffey shoots for the winner in the semifinal. So that was pretty...
Cutter clears it out in front, went off a leg. Now Tonelli doing all that work again, and he takes two players down with him. Back out to the blue line. Coffey takes the shot, turns with it, fires it in there at the flex over top of the net. Tonelli after that puck. Tonelli ducks the check. Back out to the blue line. Here's another shot.
Play there. So John Tonelli to me is a grinder, and I'm not sure, like you said, I think the role has changed a little bit. You don't see too many guys like that now, more like the Ryan Johnsons in Vancouver.
I get maybe the game has changed a little bit. Maybe there's less clutching and grabbing, and there's more kind of wheeling around, I guess, so that might affect it a little bit too.
Yeah, I just visualize that guy skating through stick checks.
Nobody holds you up.
Yeah, no hold up. So, so maybe the grinder role has changed a little bit. How about you? Who's your...
When I thought about grinders, I thought of two lines. Actually, I thought about the line in Detroit there when they had Maltby, Draper, and McCarty.
Yeah, that was a grind line.
And I also thought back to New Jersey a few years ago when they had McKay, Holik, and Peluso.
Yeah.
Thumbs up to Peluso to turn into a bit of a hockey player there at the end of his career. But the guy I really liked out of all of them was Randy McKay from the Devils, or he spent most of his time with New Jersey. Kind of came on the scene, fought a lot, did whatever he could to kind of turn into a hockey player. He ended up scoring some big goals too. He had a little more points than we thought. Also, just like Tonelli, I guess these guys just show that you work your nuts off, you're going to end up turning into a bit of a player, and you do whatever you can to make the team in the beginning and just kind of stick around. And he scored the big goal against Philadelphia in 1995 Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, it's a great play from start to finish. There's a big block in their own end, not by him, but McTavish, I believe it is, or didn't even know he was there at the time, but he blocks it. Holik goes down, and in typical Randy McKay fashion, he drives the net.
Drives the net, yeah.
Puck right on stick, puts it in. I think we went through a few.
Blocked out deep, Chambers, and he cleared it out 2-on-1 the other way. Bobby Holik. Holik moving in with McKay, 3-on-1. Shot, score!
Saw him score.
Yeah.
A couple big ones like that. So.
Yeah. No, he was a good grinder for sure. Yeah. So so those are the grinders that we think of back in the day. Not sure if there's typical players. Another one, I don't know if I mentioned Ethan Moreau in Edmonton. He's kind of like an old school throwback grinder, I find. But we'd love to hear who you guys think, who's the best grinder, or who do you think of when you hear the word grinder in the game of hockey? And
I throw out Sean Thornton from the Bruins right now. I watch him a lot. Obviously, I'm sure there's some other guys, but he's out there every shift, just working as hard as he can, throwing his body around, dropping the gloves, just doing whatever. The ultimate teammate, I guess. You need those guys on your team.
Yeah. So grinders, let us hear who you think they are. And one quick thing, if you're watching this on the hockeyzen.com website, donate to Hockey Fights Cancer over on the right-hand side here. And our friends over there on Twitter, Danny Three Boys and Speak of the Devils, are raising some money, so for a great cause. So thanks for watching. Keep your stick on the ice.
Take care, everybody.